Dust Poems project was an idea to work with a group of Australians, a particular group of society or the communities, and to select a group that you wouldn't normally expect to be writing poetry. So we thought, why don't we work with Australian truck drivers? And we thought, what an interesting project it could be to tell the story of the trucking industry through poetry, and then at the same time to start to demystify people's understandings or expectations of what truck drivers are and what they can do. We ended up calling a lot of trucking companies and just asking them, did they have any poets in their fleet? And we ended up finding over 30 Australian truck drivers who wrote poetry.
The stories that truckies have sort of gathered up over the years and sort of things they've experienced and put it down into a poem. These are really, really good.
The truck drivers were from all over Australia. That's one of the most important things that comes up in the logbook. So we had truck drivers from Tasmania sending poems into us, and at the same time we had truck drivers from Sydney who were working at the Royal Easter Show. The inspiration behind a lot of the truck drivers' poems, I think, was actually loneliness, in that the truck drivers wrote poetry because they were missing their family.
I don't think some people have got any idea at all what a trucker goes through, or what he does, or the crap he has to put up with, and basically it's all spelled out in here. You know, you've got to read it and read between the lines.
So I think poems were a way to explore their feelings, but also to bring the people that they left behind on their trips into the space of the truck cabin.
It's all things we experience on the road. You know, on a night like this, I'd rather be home, but a few more hours yet before bedtime. It is hard, but it's a great life. I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it for anything. It's not so much the freedom, it's what I love to do.
And the trucking industry was had a particular interest because I think poems themselves are like little moving vehicles. So the idea that a poem is something you sit inside and you travel through different landscapes in the body of a poem, essentially trucks are a little bit like that. You get inside a truck and you travel through these landscapes.
Gears that whine, a lonesome song as miles pass by, stacks that crack and seem for fuel to throw into the sky. Endlessly the thunder pounds, he counts another town, and lightning strikes his very soul each time the hammer's down. Yeah, it's very fascinating, like you have a lot of time on your hands and yeah, you think of things as you're going along, and yeah, like you can relate to a lot of the stuff in here.
They all had very, very different experiences in one sense, but at the same time a lot of them talked about the notion that poetry is a good antidote to loneliness, that writing poems gives you some company. And I think, like a lot of people who write poetry, it's just a great expression of feelings, and it's something that you can do anywhere, in any place, at any time.
This life desires the brave, and in any lapse in focus seconds, you're promptly to your grave.
Miles to tears, reason to despair, you know, it's like you're 1,000 miles away from home, you know, it's when am I going to get home, you know. You ring the boss in the morning, it's just another road, just another load.